Hello! This is our style for today. You can see we've got a lace headband and a combo side braid. So it looks like that, which looks really pretty and really complicated and is really very simple and easy to do. So let's get started. Okay, you will need some hairbands, and for today that is it. We're going to do most of this with sectioning and tying off the ends. So to start with, we're going to section off the hair for our lace headband. So right behind the ear, a couple of inches back and straight across the top. Separate out your hair carefully. As you can see, my ends could do with a bit more oiling, but I can do that at the end. Once you've got the amount of hair you want, just tie back the rest. Now, I'm going to have my side plait on my left side, so down here. So I want to push all of my hair across to that side. Just going to adjust the camera a little bit. There you go, you'll be able to see a little bit better when I've got my head on my side now. So take a small amount of hair from behind your ear and split it into three. We're just going to lace braid, adding hair to the front, so the back strand, front strand, back strand just to start it off, and then start adding hair. Start with small amounts. The aim is for your plait to be fully backwards. You want all of your hair to go straight back. Okay, if you want a bit more volume, you can give your plait a bit of a tug and then pin it, but I'm okay with it as it is. And what we're going to do is separate out these strands. I added a couple of extra twists past the end of when I was adding hair to secure it. I'm going to take the front strand, put it in my mouth this way, the back strand around and into my mouth this way. And what I'm going to do is to separate this hair diagonally into three. Okay? Okay, I'm going to keep this front strand in my mouth for now. What I'm going to do is take the middle strand, split it into three, split this into three, and combine each strand of my lace braid strand with a strand from the rest of my hair, and then just normal English braid. Now you need to hold both strands from your lace braid in your mouth really to start it, because if they aren't secure, it's very difficult to make it look even. And we're plaiting all the way to the end. If you end up with a strand that's not quite as big as the others, section off a small amount from one of the other strands and add it to the strand that's not as big. It's a good way of keeping your plaits even all the way down. especially when we're taking hair from lots of different sections. Quite frequently you will end up with one strand that's just not as long as the others. And secure the end. Usually if I was doing plaits of this size I would use small hairbands, but because these are only holding hairbands, they're not going to stay in. It doesn't matter how they look. Okay, so I've got my lace braid strands and I've got the separation of my hair here. So this is the back, this is the front, and this is the middle from the back of my hair. So middle from the back of my hair, I am going to take and separate, making sure to keep this out of the way. I'm going to have to hold it in my mouth. Separate this into 3, add each to a section of this, and then English braid it. I'm going to bring it underneath this. You can take it underneath or over the top. You can experiment with what you think looks best. And again, I'm securing it with a hairband. And we're going to do exactly the same thing with the back strand of the lace braid and the right hand side of the main hair. Bringing it around. This is the one that's actually hardest to get smooth. Just smooth it over a little bit as you're coming. Make sure that any spare hair you have, you put in here, even if you meant it to go in something else, because otherwise you will end up with not enough. The other trick that I do is that instead of splitting it down this way, I split it diagonally along its length, because that means I've got a better chance of having the same length of hair in each section. Combining my strands together. Again, if they aren't exactly even, don't worry, it's quite difficult. With this braid, it's quite important to put the back strand over first, because that helps to keep it tight. So, and then pull when you put the front strand over the middle strand, pull the middle strand up, and then put the back strand over the new middle strand, and then we can plait normally. And that just makes it tight at the start, which is quite important, because otherwise you'll have a lot of loose hair across the back of your head. Try not to whack yourself in the head with the mirror, it hurts. Okay, you can leave it like this. And I have friends who would call this power braids, or you can plait them together. So, take them like this. You see this one, which was the middle strand of the lace braid, and the front part of the hair is going to become the middle strand. And again, start with the back strand and just normal English braid. Keeping the plait flat is my preference, because I like how the final plait turns out doing that, but you can twist them or turn them however you like. And when we reach the bottom, just take out the first hairband you reach, put it back in at the same level with all 3 of your plaits. And you can use a small hairband here if you prefer, but I find these sizes perfectly fine. And there you have the combo. And if you just pull it a little bit, what you will find is that it will sit, what I would call it, upside down. So it comes down like this, and it sits quite nicely, and it sort of follows the line of your head and ear I've got a little bit of hair sticking out here. If you have one of those, you can pin it down if you'd like. So I'll show you that. And as a final bonus, because as I always say, it is always possible, if you've plaited something, to bun it. This is a little bit more difficult to bun because of how wide it is and where it's all coming from. I find that one of the best ways is to twist it up like this. Move a bit closer. So you take this and twist it like that and give it a bit of a wiggle so that it's comfortable, and then take a pin and pin in here to make that lie flat. And then just tug it round, tuck in your ends and add a few more pins. I always like to make sure that I have pinned, if I can find my pins, pinned over where the hairband is so that I know it's going to stay in. You can just give it, I like to give it a bit of a push backwards like this, because then it irritates my ear less. So my hairband is here. I will find the previous strand and over the top. That way I know that my hairband is not going to pop out. And one here, just to keep that nice and flat. So we go in this way, turn and push. And it makes quite a large bun that way. It is quite far forwards. You can twist it in different ways if you want it further back, because it is touching my ear. If you have less hair, you'll have a smaller bun, so it won't be an issue. But if having things touching your ear is a particular problem for you, or you prefer things further down on your head, what you'll need to do is turn it that way instead of that way to start, and it just creates a bit of a different pattern. So this is the bun. And it's really easy to do. It looks quite smart, especially if you put some flowers in it. So if I just put like that, I'm very spring fairy princess like now, or formal dinner, whatever you prefer. And again, as always with the lace headbands, it's a very easy place to put any kind of tiara or more flowers over the top, real ones or pretend ones, because this time of year is perfect for real flowers. Okay, I hope that this has been useful for you and that you've had a bit of extra inspiration, and my speech is getting worse. Okay, happy styling.